Hey all, welcome back. When ASUS released their 50 series ProArt card, they suggested I do a build in their newer ProArt PA401 case. I previously did a build in their PA602 case, but that case was really large. I think the PA401 is a much better size for most users, so let's dive in. As with my previous video, this build will be focused on matching the styling of the new graphics card. The wood grain on the card is of a very dark tone, which makes it a safe choice to blend into builds as it doesn't stand out too much. The PA401 is a standard layout compact ATX case. It comes standard with two 160mm front fans and a single 120 rear fan. The largest radiator supported is a 240mm, which I'll get more into later. After unboxing, I installed the GPU vertically to design a front bracket. The graphics card was propped up before taking some measurements. This front bracket model is available for free, linked below. The bracket was attached using three 18mm M3 countersunk screws. While this is the wood version of the case, the front wood slats were also stained very dark and it was hard to see the actual wood grain. I decided to spruce it up by adding some gold accents like last time. The good thing about the slats is that they are removable. A small angle block was printed as I wanted to only paint the edges of the slats gold. Some cotton was glued onto the angled face. Then gold rub and buff applied. The block was slid across the slat edge in hopes of getting a thin, consistent gold line. The end result was okay, but lines weren't too clean in some areas. As such, I decided to hand paint the entire face gold instead. Only 3 of the slats were painted. Now, to add more wood accents. The PA602 had a nice cable shroud included for the motherboard, but the 401 did not have this included. I decided to make one for it to get a cleaner build. My idea was to create the shroud by steam bending some walnut ply, then glue on some printed ribs. First, we need to create a bending foam. I cut a piece of pine, then gave it a beveled face. Then a template was printed to help me shape the wood. Wood was glued down onto the table temporarily. And the plane was used to shape the curve. After some time, the top edge was looking okay, but a quick check shows that the bottom edge needed more shaping. Eventually, the desired shape was achieved throughout the entire board. Wood was covered in tape to waterproof it. A large tray was heated with water to steam the walnut panel. After 15 minutes of steaming, the panel was still stiff, so I decided to soak it in the hot water directly. After another 10 minutes, the walnut veneer actually peeled off the plywood core and was very flexible. This will affect my design slightly, which I'll explain soon. For now, the veneer is clamped against the block to dry. Okay, because the veneer is now very thin, I won't be able to simply glue ribs along it as the end result will be very flimsy. I redesigned the shroud to include shaped printed panels which will be glued together. Magnets are pressed into the ribs for easy attachment to the case. I'll also upload the model for this shroud in the link below. After glue up, the veneer is soaked again before clamping over the shroud. Once dry, the veneer is glued onto the shroud. Excess is trimmed off. Moving on. Other wood accents I'll be adding are a panel to cover the power supply compartment and some hose clamps like the PA401 build. All wood parts were sanded with 1200 grit before staining with black tinted wax. Lastly, they were given a coat of clear. Time for assembly. The PSU wood panel was stuck on using 3M tape. Strix 1000 watt power supply goes in. Case has a removable PSU plate, making installation easier. I've been liking the textured cables from Strix power supplies as they are flexible and look great. We'll be using the ProArt Z890 Creator Wi-Fi today. This ATX board has an elegant minimalist design perfect for this build. The M.2 quick release heatsink feature is a nice touch. No more fiddling around with tiny screws. Again, we are using the same Ultra 7 265KF. 64GB of T-Create RAM. I'll list these right angle adapters used in the description below. I ran my cables like this for a clean look. Velcro straps along the rear make cable management easy. We'll be using the Prime LC240 ARGB cooler. I painted the top fins gold, but you'll see later this isn't visible, so I wouldn't recommend it. Rear bracket. CPU block comes with pre-applied thermal paste. Panels go back on. Before mounting the GPU, I installed the riser cable and 180-degree power adapter. GPU slides in, then the bracket screwed onto the front fans. I had to use thumb screws for the back mounting. The bracket secures the GPU very well in the case. It was all going well until I realized I forgot to install the motherboard cable shroud. So the GPU is gonna have to come back out. We'll be right back.
1 hour later.
Shroud attaches easily with magnets. Lastly, the hose clamps are installed. The power supply basement and Velcro straps make it easy to get a clean build. Quality of materials is good as well. I would have preferred if the wood edition case leaned more into the wood look rather than having such a dark tint where the wood is barely visible. I do feel it was a missed opportunity that this case could not fit a 360 AIO, as ProArt has a perfect version of that. Overall, it's a nice case with classy looks that will fit well in a minimalist space. Let's move on to some noise testing. As with my ITX build, the 265KF seems to be too much for the 240 AIO to manage efficiently. Most of the fan noise comes from the CPU rather than the GPU during load. I would recommend going for a slightly less powerful CPU for this setup. That brings us to the end of the build. If you like this video, give it a like and consider subscribing for more content like this. As always, thank you for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.